Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Into the Pit. I have my good buddy Mustafa here. You might know him from a little show called Ghost Hunters. I think that's what it was called. Is that what it was?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
something
think
like
if I recall correctly.
that. So where are you at now?
I am in a hotel in Saddlebrook, New Jersey. House got flooded,
Oh,
and yeah, during that like big storm, and we were right there. So it's been fun. I've been having to get violent with insurance people on the phone and then they get all like pissy. I'm like, you haven't gotten me an adjuster in a month. And I finally got one and they're not returning my calls. I was like, don't get pissy with me. I was like, just do your job. It's funny. It's like when stuff hits the fan, you can really see whether or not people like what they do, whether that like positivity stays. It's like in pressurized situations, people who are all like, I'm so positive, I'm so positive. They're the first ones to go and like rip your throats out. So that's
yep.
why I tend to always kind of keep things on like an even keel, and I'm a sarcastic douche most of the time. So
Well,
I'd rather
I was going to say, I was wondering how things were going with your house because, I mean, we were going to have that live chat, and then we got rid of our cable, so I don't watch the news. And the only reason why I knew about the hurricane in the first place is because my wife's family lives in Louisiana. And then
yeah.
I didn't know that it had cut up toward y'all's way. And, April, who's also a friend of ours, I mean, her place got flooded. And then another friend of mine that lives up there close to you, her sewage backed up into her basement. So I'm like, oh, man, y'all had it rough.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a few. It's just like a confluence of things too. Is you got a lot of people they lost like their cars. Like we were lucky because we live close by Garden State Plaza Mall, so I
Hmm.
brought my cars there, and they had the parking deck, and that was good. I had like a little e-bike that I just sold, and I brought it there, and yeah, everything was fine. But then um, there's a lot of people like Miriam, my wife, her friend Lena, like her and her family, like their cars were like floating down the street,
Jeez.
like and you know how expensive it is to buy a car now. Everything
Mm.
they jacked up. If you thought dealerships were scumbags before, like this is just like, oh my god, they're like the swarm of like locusts. They're just sitting there. They'll sell you the biggest turd for like top dollar, and they're grinning while they're doing it. So
Yeah.
they're very happy. I have a feeling like even though there won't be a chip shortage, they're gonna lie about that shit for like a year to go and try to make money.
Well, they'll get those ones that are flooded and then they'll fix them up and they won't tell people, oh, yeah, this was in a flood. I've seen that happen
Yeah, although,
before.
but I think now they'll even, they'll people will buy them anyway. People were going nuts. I had people offering me like crazy amounts of money for like my cars and stuff, like just walking up to me, and I'll be like, nah, dude, I'm good.
Well, I felt bad because I didn't realize that y'all were going through that when had called
No,
you. And
I
it's like,
felt I felt bad, man. Like I was like, oh shit, I completely forgot about it. I was like
no,
going
no,
like,
man,
you know,
that was more important. I mean, you taking care of your house and your family, that's way
well,
more important.
yeah, I know it is, but like I can't. I want to seem very accommodating, and I want everybody to think I'm a great guy. So I'm like, oh no, please, Kyle, this is more important.
No, but
Yeah,
I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize that because I was messaging April. She was coming on the same night. And
yeah, yeah,
if everybody wants to know April Bissett, she's the psychic housewife of New Jersey. Um,
yeah. That's her official title. The governor gave it to her. It was Governor Christie. Christie gave it to her. Phil Murphy has not acknowledged it, our current governor, which is, this is a shame, honestly. I think it's going to hurt his campaign, to be honest.
I believe so too. Don't mess with her. But yeah,
No,
I was like,
no.
well, April's not coming. I'm like, April, what's going on? She goes, oh man, our house is flooding. I'm like, what? I said, Mustafa said the same thing. What's going on? And she said, well, don't you know about the hurricane? I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know it went up there.
Came out of nowhere, man. It was gnarly, but yeah, we're doing good. It could be way worse. So I'm lucky.
Well, if you ever want to exchange hurricane stories, I'll be glad to.
Okay, I'll keep that. We'll get some bourbon and we'll sit down and we talk about hurricanes.
Remind me, I'll tell you about Ike sometime. Hurricane
Okay.
Ike. Oh my God. But so you and Brandon have been working on a book, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's we have it in the can. It's Elements of a Haunting. We actually have been doing really well on the Amazon sales charts. We were at the top of Ghosts and Hauntings at that
Mhm.
genre. It's not even out yet. I think there was another one. We were in the parapsychology. We were ranking on it. I think supernaturalism is like another like category. So a lot of people have been picking it up, and we got a ton of early reviews, and the early reviews are good, man. I'm very I don't think we weren't like thinking about that when we wrote it, and
Mhm.
it was probably one of the more laborious. I mean, we did like 9 rewrites of this thing, and we put a lot of thought, a lot of effort, and there was a lot of stuff cut out of it because I just go off on my freaking tangents, especially when it comes to history and stuff. But yeah, Llewellyn Worldwide, which is the oldest publisher in America, they're really killing it, and um, I'm going to do a shameless self promotion now, but hey, anybody who pre-orders it, you're going to get a little something extra special.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. So like, I always used to hate it. Like, you go to like gyms or you sign up, or like you go to like get internet service, and the first year you get the best price, and then after that they jack up the price on you. It's
Hmm.
like, well, that's no way to treat a recurring customer. It's like, you should, if I've been a customer with you for like 2 years, you should give me like a month free or
Yep.
something like that. But like, everyone's always just like, nah, they want more and more and more. And it's a real I'm gonna cuss, but it's a real piece of shit thing to do. So like, I like to reward early adopters. I feel like early adopters of things, like we were just talking about tech, like
Yeah.
phones and stuff, and early adopters get really screwed. And it's like, that's backwards. Like, you should really reward people who are taking that first plunge, or like doing anything like that. So anyway, in a long-winded way, I'm bringing cell phones into it, but it's not an iPhone. You're not going to get like an iPhone if you buy the book, but you'll
That'd
get
be
a
nice.
you have a if you're gonna be bankrupt. But like, yeah, we're gonna give a nice little extra something special to everyone who pre-orders it, limited edition. So
So you got a link or something to the Amazon that we could maybe share in the description?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
send
put
it
that.
to
I'll
me
put
and
that to
I'll
you.
I'll put that in there. But
Sweet. I'll get it to you.
it's crazy because when the iPhone first came out, they're like $1,000, and they're still like $1,000.
When the first iPhone came out, it was the craziest thing in the world. I know it's not paranormal what we're talking about, but whatever. But it was. I wrote about cell phones for GSM Arena, which is a great site. It's like really unbiased. I don't know. I think they might be having some paid partnerships with like overseas brands like Realme. Like, you don't see that brand over here that much. That's just my opinion. I don't know. But there was like a really kind of like no nonsense site, and like the craziest thing, if you remember back in the day, like, you would sign a contract for a phone.
Mhm.
That phone would be locked to that carrier, and then you would pay like $200 for like the highest end phone. The iPhone,
Yep.
when it first came out, there was the 8 gig and the 4 gig, and the thing didn't even have an app store, and it didn't even have 3G, which is weird. You had like these crappy, ugly looking, chunky LG flip phones that had
Yep.
3G, and they sucked. They were all laggy. I'm like, why is a flip phone laggy? It does nothing. It's like, it makes no sense. It's like a can opener lagging. Like, why is this lagging? Um, because Verizon, and like, it was especially like Verizon, they would put all this bloatware on it and shit. But yeah, it was $600 on a 2-year contract, locked to AT&T, and then $500 for the 4 gig. And then they brought the price down, and then I think they refunded people in like credits towards their bill,
Hmm.
like $400 and $300 respectively for the phone. And then after that, it was 200. And then everyone thought that was insane. They're like, $600 for a phone? That's nuts. Now I think the cheapest iPhone is like 700, like the mini, like the new iPhones.
Hmm.
So I mean, it can go all the way up to like what, like 1300,
Oh
and
yeah,
people are
easily.
people are paying it. People are paying it. They don't care. They're paying it. So I guess it's whatever the market says. It's people are going to buy it.
Yeah. Uh, it's crazy because everybody feels like they have to have the best of everything, and just because it's
Yeah.
new doesn't mean it's the best. I'm happy with I've got 11,
Yeah.
and we just got through paying them off, and then they sent us a message saying, "Oh, the 13 has come out." I'm like, 13? I just paid off 11. What happened to 12?
Well, yeah, like that's like a big, I think that's just like a very big problem. Um, and watch how I spin this shit. But like, I think that's just a very big problem with our species as a whole. Not to sound like, species, like intellectual douchebag, but like, which I am, but like, no, like it's and not the film Species with Ben Kingsley, who's in it, which is insane to me. It's like this guy plays Gandhi and then he's in a movie like Species. Not in Species 2 though. But I
He's got to
think,
draw the line somewhere.
yeah. I mean, that's why I did Blood Rain. Oh, terrible. But I think that's our problem, is like, as a whole, is that we don't really ever take, a lot of times we don't take a second to think about, well, like, okay, well, what do I really need? Like, and I'm gonna kind of tie it into this entire Gabby Petito case, right? And you got this Gabby Petito girl on paper, this Instagram lifestyle. She's there with this Brian Laundry guy. They're taking their selfies. They're going to all these different amazing parts of the country. They're living out of a van, hashtag nomad life. They're looking beautiful and
Mm,
fabulous in their photos. And literally, outside of the lens, they are beating the crap out of each other,
yeah, that's sad.
like, and just going nuts. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that everyone's always like so focused on the title of things. Everyone's so focused on the title of things. And even if they attain that title, they're still uh, miserable. Like, they're
Right.
still absolutely miserable because nobody's really, really going after, what they need. And that's like a big thing. Like, I even work with my son, is like, I'm like, do you
Yep.
even like playing with your toys, or is the act of looking at new toys and buying a new toy, is that what you get enjoyment
Yep.
out of? And I think that's a really, really, really big problem. It's like, I have friends, it's like they'll be on vacation with, like, their siblings, and then my one friend was like, he's like, telling me, it's like, his brother, he's like, my brother's like already talking about the next vacation when we're like 2 days in to this 7-day vacation. I'm like,
Yep.
enjoy that vacation.
Yep.
And I think with, like, I had an interesting experience in Salina, Kansas, at the Salina Masonic Temple with one of my events, and there was like some things that, like, um, the event could have gone better, and there was like some miscommunication about a lot of things, and we had like a good turnout, but like the turnout at this thing was like supposed to, I was told, was going to be like way, 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 way greater, and we
Right.
still had a pretty great turnout. It's just um, the scope of what we did for that, like turning it into a full blown Paracon, was like a mistake. Like, I mean, and I should have kind of put my foot down about that. And whoever was like organizing it, like, they definitely went shot way too high for it. But I heard really great things about this place, and I'm like, hey, let's go and do it. So I was there, and I could have gotten pretty upset, and I don't know. I'm like, I'm here. The activity's great. This location's amazing. The people are very, very cool, and they're extremely enthusiastic. So I
Right.
have two options. I can get mad to down a situation, or I can get mad to make it better. I mean, both, there's an excuse, but one's an excuse that's worth it. So I'm like, I'm gonna have, like, I'd rather have an excuse to do something good. So it's like I'm excusing the, not ignoring, but excusing, certain things that were like promised to me that, I in good conscience couldn't take because, I'm doing this to help this location out.
Right.
Um, so I'm like, let me excuse that to focus on, like, if Mustafa was a character in a great novel, like, what would he do right now? And that's what I went after. And that's something a great friend of mine and my personal mentor, David Vadim, always taught me. And, my
Yeah.
life has been made much, much better as a result of listening to him. And we ended up having, I mean, it was like something straight out of like I don't want to say Disney movie because, you know, Disney, it's kind of cheesy, but like it was literally something out of like a really great film. And, man, it was just incredible. I wish you were there, man. This place is massive, dude. 160,000 square feet, crazy activity, and kind
Really?
of being present in that moment. Like there was some weird stuff that happened there, and it was but that because I wasn't overlooking anything, or at least fighting not to overlook anything.
I really enjoyed the Risser there in Bonham.
Oh yeah, the Resort Hospital. Yeah,
That
that
was
place is cool.
there was some cool stuff that I know I got aggravated, and I got to watch myself because I don't know, sometimes when I'm doing investigations I get a little bit too serious, and
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
I don't stop and think, here's people that they're excited, they're getting to,
yeah,
they're there for you and Daryl, and there was a lot of stuff going on, and you
yeah.
know I don't know, I take it, I guess, too serious at times, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like I think taking stuff seriously is fine, but
I took
I
it
would
too
ar-
far.
I would argue that like by not taking certain things seriously, that's taking a situation seriously. It's because you got to read the situation and then it's like, okay, what should I do? So you
Yeah.
take what you should do as like a third person. You take what you should do and you do that. And every time I've done that, I've been great. And every time
Yeah.
I don't, it's like I don't feel really great. Even if something goes well, but like if I'm not actively working towards that, it's not mine. I didn't create it, so then I don't like it. I don't want it. I don't want it if it sounds like that. Meh. So like I get really like upset. So I think that's the only way is you got to create it yourself, and you actively create that yourself by, you know, taking it in as a commenting on it as a third person, and trying to
Yeah.
work within that situation and the way you should. Yeah. But
Well, one other problem I have is I'm very impatient at times, and I'm
no, yeah, I hear
I'm
that. Me
slowly
too.
starting to learn how to be more patient, especially with a lot of the people that are mentoring me right now.
Yeah, let's get
And
Michelle on here and see if she
she might tell you different. No, it's just seriously. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff coming up, and
That's great.
I have to. Number one, I have to be thankful for everything that's coming my way,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not forget where I came from and be
Hmm.
patient because these things are going to take some time, and I get that. And I'm
Yeah.
meeting so many wonderful people. I mean, you and I got to be friends all because I
Hmm.
wanted to start this little podcast, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's branching out, and I'm meeting even
That's
more
great.
people. And I sound like I'm bragging here, but it's not me. It's the people that I've surrounded myself with. They're just awesome people, and they know more people that they pass me on to, and then they pass me on to other people, and it's just it's incredible how many
Yeah.
freaking awesome folks there are out there that are willing to give you their time and
Yeah.
advice. They want to help, and hey, do this and do that, and let me give you a little advice on how to do this, and
Yeah.
it's just incredible. I love these
Well,
folks.
you're nothing without your team, and it's like I think something that I have a really tough time with is like you only have so many eggs to put in so many baskets.
Yeah.
And that includes like emotional investments as well.
Yes.
And there are certain people or entities or whatever that is. And I I I have an intense distrust of people who are just like very, like I'm not saying be mean to everyone, but what I'm saying is like if you're like very like oh la di da like free love and you give that out, it's like, well then how do I trust anything you're telling me?
Yeah,
Because it's
that's true.
so it's so it's so easy for you to go and be nice and like very nice and like, oh, I love them, oh, we're friends. I was like, I take the word friend like very, 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 very seriously, like very seriously. And if I feel like I'm not a good friend, like I should feel bad about that, and I don't want to try to like just excuse it. Like I should feel bad about that. And there's like a difference between like friends and acquaintances, and then there's like family, and then I have friends who are family. Like that's
Yeah.
family. I would do anything, and I'll go out of my way to go and help somebody. And professionally, if it's a professional level, I like to go out of my way to help people in a professional setting. And then once that's done, if I don't really care for them too much, it's just like, okay, keep it polite and get the hell out of my face. Like like, let me go hang out with the people that I know like turn me on emotionally in a great
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So I think like setting those lines, and then there are some people who professionally I would just
wouldn't. No.
I won't even like one of their social media posts. I
Yeah.
just don't want to put myself in that position. Like I just don't want to feel like I'm rubber stamping anything. If I see them places, I won't laugh at their jokes. I won't like I won't like I just I like I don't even want to look at them. Like there's like some people like that. So once I get into those places, and that for me, and people might think it's really mean and I make people uncomfortable, but the same, I think it's good. It's like if the same reason why some people dislike you is the same reason why people love you, I think it's that's all I care about is their opinion. Like these
Oh
people
yeah.
right here. So then these guys, like, or whoever, like I don't
Just
care. I don't need to make you happy. Get the hell away from me.
just your wife and your kids, and mom
or,
and
or
dad.
whoever it is,
Yeah.
friends, people that I respect, admire, or people who I like, and it's worth it to help them, and all that for me, worth it for me to help them. Not like, oh, I'm going to get something from them, but it's an emotional thing that I
That's
enjoy. But
that's something that I worry about is, I'll ask because I do have a lot of acquaintances and I have a lot of
yeah,
friends. And then when I ask somebody something, I feel bad a lot of times asking people for stuff because it's
yeah,
like, I don't want anybody to feel
yeah,
like I'm taking advantage of them.
yeah, yeah, dude. You've never asked me for like anything. It was just like you just never, ever, ever
So
made me feel like
that's
you're
not
just trying to
true.
get something on the cheap.
I ask you what flavor of cake you like because I'm going to bake for you when you get here.
I know. A pin of rose on your nose, you sweetheart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm anxious for December. I'm waiting for y'all to get here.
I'm
Oh, by
stoked.
the way,
Yeah.
did you get my message about Susan Slaughter?
No.
Ah, I
About
could have.
Susan.
Yeah, aren't you doing an event with her?
I am. I'm doing a Dark Zone event. The Conjuring House. It's gonna be awesome. I have to cut a promo for Jay Blumke. I'm supposed to do it yesterday. I just got stuck in like an extra hour and a half of traffic, so I had no time to do it. But
Well, you got to give her a hard time for me because she's been promising me a picture for the last 2 years,
oh my
and
God,
she was one of my
I'll message
first
her.
interviews.
Really?
Yeah, in fact,
She's great. I had a brief conversations with her, and
she's
I've only
awesome.
heard good things about her. Yeah, I've seen her work too. Yeah, Susan's definitely. I mean, I wouldn't work with her if I didn't respect her. So like, I think that she's she's definitely she definitely brings something very personal to the table.
Yeah, she's
Specific.
sweet.
She's specific. That's what I like about her. She's very specific. Like there's really like you can't really describe her, like you can't really describe anyone else like you describe Susan Slaughter. Like
Yeah.
she's Susan Slaughter. And that's what I like. I like specificity. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I messaged her like months ago and I was telling her, I said, your video is like really picking up a lot of views.
Yeah.
And I said, I just wanted to thank you, even though it's been, what, a year, 2 years since I interviewed her. And she's like, yeah, and I know I owe you a picture. I've been promising you that, and I'll get it to you. And then I didn't hear from her. I was like, okay, I saw you were going to be in an event with her. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell Mustafa to give her crap for me.
I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll be like, yo, Suzanne, I think I still owe people photos. That's like sucks. I try to send
Yeah,
them out, but then it's like I'm literally like passing out asleep in my car, like while it's charging, writing
yeah.
articles, like, you know,
You're a busy guy.
it's, yeah, I mean, yeah, and Brandon and I have some other stuff in the works that we can't really talk about yet, but it's all
But
tied into the book. It's all tied into the book. So um, we definitely played the long game with this one.
yeah,
Set down the IP of the book, and then we're working off of that. So
well,
I'm
I
really really stoked.
definitely want to put it out there. So I'm going to put that link in the description so
Yep.
people can click on it and go order it. I guess it's all pre-order right now, I'm assuming.
It's pre-order. It's going to debut on January 8th, 2022, and we have a few events lined up afterwards that are going to be tied into the release of the book. There might be some places that we're going to that are mentioned in the book.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So it's gonna be really dope, and yeah, Brandon and I have actually been developing some really cool new experiments based off of, the stuff that we documented.
right,
So we're
right.
taking it to some like really, really, really cool new lengths. I can't promise that shit's gonna work, but I can promise you that we're gonna try our darndest to
It's
like,
worth a shot.
document some cool stuff.
You
Yeah,
always got to try new stuff, man.
yeah.
Otherwise, you don't get anywhere. So,
Well, yeah, and it's
well,
not like
we're going to try to
there's
do another live. So I want to get Brandon on with you if we ever get a chance to get together.
Oh, he would be down, yeah, for sure. I'm very excited to I'm very excited to do events with Brandon. I love working with Daryl. I really enjoyed working with Kristen. I did a couple events with Brian and Rochelle too. I don't really get to investigate with them during the events because they're like, in the Midwest is such a big, big, big. There's so many paranormal enthusiasts out there, so they're usually doing their investigation. So I've actually I don't think I've ever actually actively investigated with Brian and Rochelle, save for a few group experiments in the show. But yeah, did a bunch of events with Daryl, and I'm gonna have. I got the Red Mill in New Jersey coming up. We got a private investigation. That's next week, and then
Oh,
I
wow.
got Beacon Theater, October 9th, in Virginia, and then I got Old Park, and then I got the Dark Zone Conjuring event, and then I got Old College Hill, which is insane. Um, so it's really really cool. But yeah, it's great, man. We get to help a lot of these locations. I mean, the Salina Masonic Temple, they got hit pretty hard during COVID, just like a lot of other government buildings did. And I walked into the place, and I'm like looking around, and I'm like, why? I'm like, why the hell haven't you guys been selling this place out?
Hmm.
And they're like, oh, well, we don't really know. I was like, you understand, like, you have a building that is one, beautiful, two, creepy as fuck, three, it's 160,000 square feet. And it's not like Waverly Hills, which is Waverly Hills is technically more, but like it's 160,000 square feet, and like 100% of it's investigatable. Like
Hmm.
all of it you can investigate in. I'm like, you've got running bathrooms, you're protected from the elements. I was like, you could have 120 people in here investigating, and as long as everybody follows protocol, or like mostly follows protocol, you're not going to have any contamination with each other.
Right,
So
right.
I said, why the hell aren't you guys like, to me? If it was my dollar, not that I loved Waverly and I loved investigating there, but everybody thinks like Waverly Hills and like this is like this big spot, or like I'm like the Salina Masonic Temple is like, I think that's like it. Like there's another location, and I won't. We're doing something with that, and I can't really speak about it. That's like really really great, but like the Salina Masonic Temple is a fully functional, insured building. You can investigate and not have to worry about getting gangrene or like inhaling mold, and it's got a crazy history. There's a ton of like evidence associated with the place. I got tons of audio I still got to upload, and it's like, yeah, and they just the head of the temple, she had messaged me, and after literally like 2 days after I finished my investigation there, she got like all these calls and offers from people
Oh, I
to
bet.
like come and like do it. Yeah. So like, like I'm I feel like a paranormal Jesus. Like, here you are, bask in the glory. No, but like I mean, it's such an arrogant thing to say, but like, I really feel like I'm happy that me being there helped to get them booked, because there's a lot of places out there that this is my daughter's laptop. There's a lot of places out there that they're hyped.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah,
like,
yeah. But
we all know the truth. Like,
I'll have to say though, every place that I've gone to with you, I've always got a great story to tell when I get home. And
oh yeah.
yeah, but when it was me, you, and Michelle and Kristen, and we were all hanging
Oh
out,
yeah.
and then I got to interview Kristen before we went to do the investigation,
Yeah.
and so I was like, now I can actually say that I was in a hotel room with Kristen. So she's gonna shoot me. She's gonna shoot me.
She's so funny, man. She's great. Yeah, I'm excited to investigate with her again. She was great, man. She was great. Yeah, we didn't get to investigate that much on the show. I think we did like one run together at St. Augustine Lighthouse. And then we were in Pocatello. That was in the Beyond the Investigation, and her and I were together. And I don't know. I think we were just making each other laugh too much. And then it was just like, they're like, all right. But yeah, it was cool. Yeah. So I'm stoked. Kristen's great.
Yeah, she's awesome. Man, I know you got things to do. I won't keep you much longer. It's just nice catching up with you, because we don't get to talk as much lately,
Yeah, I know.
But you're busy, and plus your house and everything going on.
So. Yeah, we got the house, and then I'm working like freaking tons of different jobs, and then I'm still writing, but like and then there's other things that are in development, so I'm just like, I'm not gonna say no. Like I'll just only sleep 2 hours tonight, and that's what's happening. So like, F it, like, I'll sleep on the plane, or I'll do whatever. I mean, Kansas was crazy though, man. Like that was a trip. Just getting there was like a nightmare, and I had to switch airports because like everything got delayed, and then like it was just a nightmare. And it was like a lot of split second decisions I had to make, or I wouldn't have made the event. And it was like a series of different things. Right before I get on the second plane from a different airport, I get like a phone call, and they're like, hey, that rental car you reserved? I said, yeah. They're like, we don't have it. And then I'm like, what the hell? And then like I had like 10 minutes to book my rental car before I get on my plane. So I'm looking online. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. All of them at Kansas City Airport are like, they're not there. So I had to take an Uber to a rental place 30 miles outside of the airport just to get to my rental car, to go drive from Kansas City, Missouri to Salina, Kansas to get to my hotel. And then I had to film a promo for the book when I'm there with Brandon, like online. And I'm like, this is the time I'm going to do it. And the guy, Rob Cohen, was like really, really like, and then after that, I'm like, okay, let me finally eat something, because I haven't eaten in like 22 hours. And then I go and get like, it was nuts, dude. It was nuts. It was awesome.
Well, that's not the only airport either, because I have a buddy of mine who's a comedian, and he had messaged me, and he says, man, I got some new stuff going on I want to talk about. Can I come on the show? I'm like, yeah, of course. You're always welcome on here. And then he says, oh, man, I just got a call. I got to go to Atlanta. I'm like, okay, cool. And we'll reschedule. It's no problem. And then the day we were supposed to do it, I like gave him an extra day just so he could, come home and rest and everything. And so I was waiting for him, and I messaged him. I said, hey, do we need to reschedule again? He goes, yeah, I'm still stuck here at the airport and in Atlanta, and I can't even get home. I'm like, geez, man, what the heck's going on?
That was like, I was in Newark, and I'm sitting there, and I had a connecting flight from Detroit. I know this is very scintillating conversation. Everybody loves to hear everybody's travel horror stories. And like no one likes to hear it except the person telling it. It was the craziest thing. I can't wait to get on a plane. No, I'm like there, and I'm like, I'm trying to make it to this event, and And like, I didn't want to leave the night before because it's like, when am I going to hang out with my kids? So I'm like, I need to do that. So I'm like, I'm just not going to sleep again. So I'm there at the airport and I got like I have a 35-minute window when I land in Detroit to make my flight to Kansas City. And then I see like my plane, it's like delayed 10 minutes. I said, okay, I got 25 minutes, delayed 15 minutes. I said, okay, I got 20 minutes, delayed 20 minutes. I said, okay, I only got this many minutes. And then it was like delayed 30 minutes. And I said, well, maybe they'll hold the plane over there. And then I saw the line of people waiting to talk to the person.
Oh,
And then it
no.
was like, oh, she gets on. She's like, oh, we can't leave because we need another flight attendant. And they're coming from like LaGuardia. So I'm like, all right, let me check the traffic conditions from LaGuardia to Newark Airport. 50 minutes. I was like, almost an hour. And I was like, it's going to take them at least 20 minutes to get through to the airport to get back here. So I said, I saw that line. I just jetted, walked out past security, went to the front place where people check the luggage in. And I'm just like, yo, get me a flight. I found one in Baltimore, and I think there's one in LaGuardia. I'm like, get me the one in Baltimore. You guys offered me $500 for like giving up my seat on this flight. Give me my $500 gift card. I'll use that to get the rental car, drop the rental car off in Baltimore, and I'll still be able to make the flight and make the Kansas City. So my guy's like,
Jeez,
no,
man.
we're going to do LaGuardia. And I was like, Delta still owes me like $500, by the way. I got to like hit them up.
Well, I think my airplane days are over. So
Yeah, it's not fun, dude. I'm like this close to buying like a teardrop camper and then getting like a
yep.
good Wi-Fi plan so I can stop and do work. And I think I'm just gonna road trip most of this stuff, man.
Well, I told you that's what me and Michelle had decided. We were just going to sell everything and get us a camper and just travel. And you get one of those dishes on your camper for your Wi-Fi, can't you?
Dude, I'm telling you, man, they sell these campers. They got like solar panels out on them. You
Mm-hmm.
find different campsites. You hook that bad boy up. It's freaking awesome, man. The campers are so cool. Like I was like, I've told Miriam that. I said, yo, we should have just bought like 4 different campers instead of a house. She goes, I don't want to live like that. And then I was like, well, after the flood happened, I was like, we could have just driven them away. We
Right?
would have been fine. And then I was laughing and cracking jokes. She's like, you're such a dick. And it was fine.
It is what it is.
Yeah, man.
Well, you never know. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be hitting the lotto here soon, so I'll just buy y'all
Yeah,
a
I think
camper. How's
so.
that?
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll tell you the one I want.
Okay,
I want it in that brushed. I want like the brushed wood. I want the brushed wood on the inside, that nice matte wood. Can't be shiny like this. Like
no,
brushed. Rustic.
and
Repurposed.
I'll even paint it for you. I'll get my
Oh, thank
brushes. I'll
you.
paint it and everything for you. If
That'd be dope.
if I'm not out signing autographs or something.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a possibility. So we're gonna have to.
The pimp life is hard.
Whenever you have time. I think
Well, I'm looking forward to you coming here to Texas, and I told you Michelle wanted to go to Old Park, and I want you to taste my cakes. I have gotten so much into baking lately.
Oh, come on, man. You're getting my nipples hard. You can't be talking about me tasting your cakes like that.
Yeah, Michelle's over there going, y'all need to quit with the talk.
I think we're going to go even further, Michelle. I think we're going to go even further. You have no idea what's going to happen.
Well, I told you we don't have the cable anymore, although we got some like temporary things so we can catch the college games. But
cool.
We've got the streaming services, and so I'm really into the Gordon Ramsay shows, and we watched this one. There's this one show called Nailed It. Have you seen it?
Yeah. That show's hilarious.
I love that show. We watched the Spanish version. We just started the German version, and I watched that.
Did you see Chef Show? With Chef Roy Choi, and it's on Netflix. It's with Chef Roy Choi and Jon Favreau, the director of Iron Man.
I haven't seen that. I gotta watch it.
Dude, you're gonna be making the best sandwiches you've ever made in your life after watching Chef Show. It's like Chef Roy Choi is a genius. He's all about like just making stuff, like simple stuff, taste really, really good. And like it's incredible, dude. The little touches that he puts on it. Bro, I was making like freaking fried bologna and egg sandwiches that were just like the best thing. my dad's like the biggest critic of like everything I've ever done. And like I went and I made him a sandwich and he was like, he wanted another one, dude. And I was like, hell yeah. That's when I knew.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. You were supposed to give me a recipe for something not too long ago, and I still
Peanut
ain't
butter
got.
and jelly pancakes.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta get a stove, man. I gotta get a stove and I gotta make that for you. I'm gonna go to the Lowe's and be like, hey, does this turn on? Sit there to it.
There's so many freaking cool shows on, and I just got into the cooking and stuff. So, but
I always love putting it on.
But tell your wife I said hey, and
I will.
looking forward to seeing her again. And you guys take care. Peace. Talk to you again
Peace out,
soon.
man. I'll see you, Kyle.
Later, bro.
Be well, brother.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.